Your Excellency, I am greatly honored to present to you today my letter of credence. Let me begin by saying that Israel enjoys warm diplomatic relations with all member states of Caricom community. Israel is a young nation of an ancient people that has returned to its homeland after 2,000 years of exile. The Caribbean community states are also young nations of peoples with deep historical roots and traditions. The common nation-building experience involves confronting many daunting challenges and is perhaps the source for the general sense of deep friendship and sympathy between Israel and the Caribbean region. The challenges confronting Caribbean states have their roots in both the natural world and human activity, and the Caribbean community is one of the most important instruments created in order to safeguard a better future for its people. The objectives of the Caribbean communities are noble ones. They are centers on people, full employment, development, health, and education. The true success of any nation will be measured by its ability to deliver on these goals, and the Caribbean community has focused its effort on helping its members achieve them. Israel has proven success on all those fronts and is willing to share its experience and know-how with developing nations of the region. It is only natural then that Israel has found close partners among the Caribbean countries' members. Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation work to share our experience through cooperation and capacity building. Over the past year alone, dozens of professionals from Caribbean community members have traveled to Israel for advanced trainings in areas such as agriculture, healthcare, education, alternative energy, and sustainable development, areas in which Israel has internationally recognized expertise. This year, Israel will hold intensive training courses for young entrepreneurs in the region. These will be held on the ground in 4 Caribbean states. An eager, dynamic generation of young Caribbean citizens is hungry for knowledge and the opportunity to take the region to the next level of growth, and Israel stands ready to be partner in this important undertaking. Excellency, in an increasingly globalized world, no country is an island, undisturbed by the turmoil around it. This is true with climate change, transnational crime, and unfortunately, violent extremism. The Caribbean community has been blessed with a warm climate. However, many already feel the impacts of climate change. The small island states are subject to the effects of rising sea levels, while others have experienced reduced rainfall or have been ravaged by strong hurricanes. With a combination of these limitations and assets, Caribbean community members are well situated to become leaders in sustainable development. On the political front, the recent terror attacks in Europe, the Middle East, and the United States, and the ongoing tragedy in Syria and other parts of the Middle East demonstrated that terrorism and bigotry know no borders and seek only to impose a new dark age on humanity. It doesn't matter if you're a small or large nation, if you're Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, if you're located in Europe, Asia, or the Caribbean. As long as we share the same values of freedom and tolerance and respect for life and human dignity, we are compelled to confront those who want to destroy our civilization. The strong, unified front of civilized nations, to which both Israel and the Caribbean community belong, will help ensure that the values of freedom and tolerance will prevail. Excellency, I am deeply honored to represent my country here today. During my tenure, I pledge to maintain and deepen the friendship between Israel and the Caribbean community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know Deputy Secretary General to...
Thank you. And it's quite an honor and a pleasure on behalf of the Secretary General to present the following. And of course, again, I'm sure PSG Granderson mentioned it. He really regrets it not to be here. But sometimes these things happen. Your Excellency, Mordechai Amiha Vivas, potentially representative designate of Israel to the Caribbean community, members of staff of the Caribbean community, and in this case the Secretariat here, I am pleased to accept your letter of credence and to formally welcome you to the Caribbean community and to the Community Secretariat. Caricom member states have over the years benefited from a number of technical cooperation initiatives undertaken with Israel in areas of critical importance to the region's development. The community is desirous of seeing this cooperation deepened and widened through the pursuit of a more structural and formal mechanism for cooperation at the regional level. In this regard, it is my hope that we can work to conclude a memorandum of understanding which clearly outlines the priority areas of cooperation that we wish to undertake together over the next 5 years. Health, agriculture, security, entrepreneurship, particularly for small businesses and youth development, are areas in which some of our member states already enjoy collaboration with your country. I believe there is scope for a strengthened partnership in those areas without, of course, prejudice to others. Protected agriculture and water management, for example, remain areas of interest for us, and also cultural exchanges. As it regards our cooperation and participation in global affairs, Ambassador, it is critical that we make time to share our perspectives on the pressing development issues that are occupying the global agenda, and in which small states like those of the Caribbean and no doubt Israel have a special and fundamental stake. Key amongst these are implementation of the Paris Agreement to combat climate change, as well as to mitigate and adapt to its effects. And of course also the 2030 Development Agenda and financing for development. The SG attended the fora for the end of each of these global negotiations, and he is personally anxious to see the undertakings given by the international community in respect of small islands developing states and small economies swiftly enacted. It would be remiss in raising issues of mutual concern on the global agenda, Ambassador, not to raise the issue of global security, and you also mentioned that. The Caribbean community is not immune to the scourge of transnational security threats, criminal activity, and the menace of violent extremism. In this regard, it is our hope that the tension and violence that has for so long been the reality of your people and those of Palestine will be mitigated through dialogue and negotiations. Your Excellency, Caricom prides itself on being a community of small nations that is, however, big on principle. We have always sought to defend those tenets that we hold dear: democracy, human rights, adherence to international law, justice, and equity. In Israel, we seek a partner in advancing those principles on the global stage in the interest of ensuring that each voice counts in the international arena. Ambassador, allow me to bid you once more a welcome to the Caribbean community and to extend best wishes for a fruitful tenure as Israel's plenipotentiary representative to Caricom.